Hey, what's up, Graham?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, good, man. And you?
Not bad, dude. Yeah, not bad. Good weekend. Nice. Just finished streaming on Twitch. We do demos on Mondays. So,
Nice.
yeah, we literally every Monday we listen to demos live, get people in our Discord to submit them. And we had so much great music
hmm
over the last, like we're now doing it every week. So it's fun.
And
And then
is
I do
that
interviews. Go on.
is that for data transmission or for something else?
Do you know? So we basically just open it up to all dance music and just literally say, come in our Discord, come and join the Discord. On Monday, I open a thread in the Discord and go, right, you need to drop them in here. Anyone that's around that wants to listen to, we'll just put them in order. And then I kind of go through a little bit of an order. Like I have my course members go first, and they kind of get a little blue thing on their name on in the Discord. And then I have to do subscribers to my Twitch channel, and then kind of do non-subscribers, and then I'll do staff
Nice.
members. Um, and literally, we just try and me and my assistant Laws, or me and an A&R guest, go through them and just try and give some little bits of feedback to try and help them improve. Sometimes you just can't because they're great demos. Sometimes we kind of suggest maybe send them some certain labels because we know loads of them, and like certain people that are playing that sort of signing that music, we suggest labels for them.
Yeah.
We sometimes sign some stuff for like we've signed. I've got two labels, Data Transmission and 63B Records. DT is like big house music, big tech house, kind of more kind of big sounds, and then a 63B is like deep tech, more kind of groovier tech house. And we've signed all of our 63B music up till next summer, just from my Discord and my course members on my Twitch streams, which I'm
Nice.
super happy about.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can imagine. Last
so
time
that's fun.
we,
Yeah, go
yeah,
on.
last time we we talked, I think you were mainly working with on data transmission, but I kind of feel like in the last couple of months, maybe even years, I don't know. Things have shifted for you, like especially if I look at your Instagram page, you're a lot more focusing on marketing tips, promotion tips for DJs or artists in general.
Mm.
So what?
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing the artist kind of social media growth for DJs and producers. Probably, I've been doing it maybe at least 4 years.
Mhm.
I and then I've basically coached 300 artists from maybe 2018 up till last year. I stopped doing one-to-one coaching, and then I built a course called the Artist Blueprint, which is literally just everything after you've got your record signed. So then how to get it signed to labels, how to work out your strategy, how to grow your social media and plan your content, and then also how to push your release, how to get more like press and radio play out your release, then how to use ads and use Facebook and Instagram marketing to grow your
Mhm.
releases, and then obviously then how to turn that all into gigs and grow a bit more. And
Mhm.
then every Wednesday we have a group call where they literally course members can join every week, and it's 2 hours with me every Wednesday, which is really cool, and it's really like one of my favorite times of the week. So yeah, that's and then obviously my then channels, then basically my YouTube and my Instagram is all focused around kind of content for that strategy. And
Yeah.
then obviously there's DT, which is data transmission, which is turns 15 next year in February.
15. Shit.
Yeah, 15 years old of data transmission. I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
Um, is still online blog, radio station, record label, focusing on house, tech house, disco, drum and bass, jungle, and kind of stuff that you want to dance to, basically. Um, and then it's got its own. We have a radio station, Data Transmission Radio, and that's got 120 people being hosts, and they have their own shows, and us, and yeah, it's all just clubs, music, and festivals, basically.
Nice.
And I sit across both, basically.
Yeah. Sounds nice, right? Like sounds like a variable week to me.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and then I stream on Twitch. Last year, I got signed up on Twitch as a creator. Twitch came and
Mhm.
saw they saw my YouTube, they saw my Instagram, and were like, "We love what you're doing there. Do you want to come and be a creator on Twitch?" And you basically stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Twitch, and that kind of helps with lots of things. We've tested loads of things over the last 2 years, over the last now nearly 2 years, of what works, and demos works for us, and it grows the channel. So we listen to demos, and it also signs music for the labels.
Mhm.
I do interviews on a Wednesday, and I've done some amazing interviews. Twitch can actually put me on the front page of the whole of Twitch, and basically, we had like 12,000 people watching me chat to John Newman. which was amazing. And
Yeah.
like Sigala's been on there. Um, we had spinning records came on. Yeah, mad people coming on. Um, and we've got some more great ones coming up this the rest of the year. I've actually got the person that's just been announced, um, but who's actually playing Ghost from Call of Duty. He's just been announced as Ghost of Call of Duty, which is like
Okay.
he's also a DJ producer. So he's like this mad gaming crossover, producing crossover that's going to come
Mm.
out in December. That's going to be
I
fun.
must say the only reason why I use Twitch is for watching like gaming streams, so that makes more sense to me. But
Yeah, no, there's a big music community, loads of DJs on
yeah,
there. It's really good for DJs because the platform's really stable. It's actually the only purpose built live streaming platform. Um, the subs and the raids, and you can get on these things called raid trains, and basically you get one DJ pushes all their audience into the next DJ and the next DJ and the next DJ, and it really helps DJs grow on Twitch quite easily. And it also then you're pushing your audience along each other. It's like
yeah,
one big gig for like 12 hours
yeah,
online, which is great, and it's great, grows your channel, but also it makes a load of content, which is then you can then put across your YouTube and your Instagram, and
yeah.
which is great for DJs.
Would you say that live streaming and well, especially live streaming has become more important during and after COVID?
I think it's just become. It was already cool before, but I think it just obviously became necessary in COVID, and I
Hmm.
think it's just become accepted now. I think it's completely acceptable to sit and have
Yeah,
it on when you're working, and when it's completely acceptable. Watch more DJs now, and it's completely acceptable. People know how to use the technology. People have bought cameras and setups, and have places that ready for streaming. I think it makes it easy for content. It makes, like I said, it's a long piece of content. You can chop it up into smaller pieces. There's some amazing people that are streaming and have built massive audiences and massive communities off the back of it.
yeah,
People that are earning from Twitch or from YouTube and now that have turned that into gigs because they've built these communities that want to come here, that's seen them online, that now want to see them in the flesh. So I think it's great for DJs and producers to build audiences, and essentially that's what you need to do.
yeah. Listen, what I wanted to go over to you with you today, since you're so focused on like the marketing and promotion end of artists, like obviously that's a lot of the questions I get are about those topics as well. How can I get signed? How can I get gigs? All those questions.
Mm.
And I was wondering, like, what to you is like the let's say the top three things that an artist should focus on these days when it comes down to promoting himself.
That's so. There's always been the same. For me, it's always the same three things. The same three things that get you everything. First, network. You are nothing without a network.
Hmm.
Like you need the more people you know in this industry, and it's a small place. This industry, you think it's massive, but it's not.
No.
The more people you know, the more stuff you're going to get done. The more gigs you're going to get, the more records you're going to sign. The more opportunities you're going to get is all from your network. So getting
Hmm.
out and kind of meeting people and shaking hands and getting your face in there, like ADE, or like a couple of weeks ago, is the perfect place for it. And things like that conferences are great for building your network or re-cementing your network that you kind of, you know, you you've met people, you spoke to people online, and then you kind of meet up with them. So first one is always
Yeah.
network. Second one is always the product. Music, DJing. Are you great at it? Are you the best it can be at it? And you don't have to be brilliant to start off with. It's just about kind of evolving and getting better and better and better and learning and improving and then stepping up the ladder.
Hmm.
You don't have to go you don't have to go to the top. You go build up to it. And sometimes that's also going to help you because you're going to build a community as you're doing
Yeah.
that. And then the third thing is building the community. So where that community is going to live these days, it's a social media platform of some variety. And I literally tell all my students that focus on one and do one really well. At 80% of your output goes on one platform, and make sure you just do that one really really well. So whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, and going into 2023, probably advisable to go to YouTube. And if you're not started on TikTok, then you could skip it and go to YouTube because it will take over next year.
Yeah.
Um, and just do one of those really really well, and then whatever you're doing on that platform, distribute that to the other platforms, and then you'll build a community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That
as
makes
long as you've got
sense.
those three things, you're
Hmm.
going to fly.
And why do you say YouTube's gonna take off next year? What's changed?
I just feel like it. Firstly, YouTube's kind of been a bit of a sleeping giant. Like it has the biggest audience. It's 2.9 billion users a month. It's, there's more people on there. When you rock up to an after party and it's 6 a.m. and someone's got a mix on, you can guarantee it'll be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, their changes in their platform and their advances in their platform, now that they've got YouTube Shorts, that takes that kind of short form content, and people will say it's copying one of the other platforms, but it's just people like consuming your short form content, so they've now filled that void.
Yeah.
You now can, there's a lot of effort goes into that kind of long form space, which is great, and you now can pull your parts of your long form and make it into short form, which then drives people back to your long form, which kind of keeps people in one place.
Yeah.
When you're promoting your new record, you're going to upload the long form video of the track, and you can use the short form video to drive back to it. Or if you do upload a mix, you can now use the short form video to drive back to the mix.
Yeah.
And you're just going to stay in one platform. You don't need to leave one platform. You stay in that platform. You can stream it on YouTube Music. You can listen to it online. You can watch the video. You can watch the short form.
Yeah.
And you're all
That's
staying in one place.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember it's been a long time ago. Maybe it's not even the case now, but a long time ago, someone told me that YouTube is responsible for most of the streaming when it comes down to music. Like most people listen to music on YouTube instead of Spotify or Apple Music or whatever.
Mm. Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that most people maybe don't realize. But if you look at your own behavior, as you said, DJ sets, for example. Um, Most people don't go to SoundCloud anymore, I guess. So they listen to it on YouTube.
I think there's just a bigger audience that watch it on YouTube. I think people still listen to it on SoundCloud. I've had from my SoundClouds, we have 6 SoundClouds,
Hmm.
and our SoundCloud has grown this year on last year, which grew like we're doing 1 million streams a month on the Data Transmission
Oh,
SoundCloud.
that's a lot. With DJ
Um,
sets.
DJ sets and premieres.
Hmm.
And but that's grown. Like I've always had a goal. I wanted to do 12 million streams in a year, and we're going to hit that 12 million this year. Fingers
Nice.
crossed. We've got a
Congrats.
couple of month and a bit to go. It's all like I've never done it before, so I'm excited. But last year was a grow. We grew on the year before, and it's growing all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so people do listen still on SoundCloud, and it's still a great place. And I think there's definitely that growth of SoundCloud that's happened definitely since TikTok, because people are making edits and putting them on TikTok and then going, "Do you want the download?" And then they're having to give somewhere to send to
Yeah.
people to download. So there's that growth of that movement of people from TikTok to SoundCloud, and that kind of works.
Yeah.
But there's just more people on YouTube, and
True.
it's just like you say, more people discover music. The discoverability factor of content on YouTube is much easier. You get recommended stuff because you're watching other stuff, and you get that suggested bar, which tells you to kind of
Yeah.
check these things out. And it's just now they've got that short form place as well. They're also going to be driving podcasts on there as well, which then it gives
Really?
another kind of place for it. So it becomes that all in one platform that you just the one platform to rule them all, basically.
Yeah. It's gonna be a big fight then because Spotify is also going for like the becoming the audio platform, as in they've incorporated podcasts a year ago, maybe 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and now they've announced that they're going to implement audiobooks as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I listen to podcasts on Spotify.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have some. I listen to some. It's weird. I listen to some on Apple Podcasts, but I listen to some on Spotify. And I don't know why. It's just the way it is. But yeah,
Ah,
they're going
yeah,
after it, and I think that kind of YouTube. What you always used to be, you'd listen to music on YouTube, and then you'd go on and listen to the fuller track or the fuller thing on
yeah,
Spotify. But yeah, it is going to be a fight, and I think, and it's always been a fight. But
yeah.
it's just some people are up in their game, which is cool.
What I always notice is when I listen to music on YouTube, I might discover it on YouTube, for example, but if I want to listen to it more often, Spotify is still the place where I add it to my playlist or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know why, like Spotify still feels like the how do you say that, like the like all the songs are kind of verified, like
yeah.
it's the highest quality, the real version, no glitches, no recorded versions or whatever. It's just the real deal. And with YouTube, you still have like the idea, like, oh, this might be ripped or whatever.
I do as well. I definitely listen to more music just when I want to work or when I put an album on. It's definitely Spotify.
Yeah.
Um, Annoyingly, it doesn't work too well with my Apple Watch, so I have to have Apple
No.
Music for when I want to go out running, and I basically have to move my playlist from from my Spotify to my Apple Watch, so I can go out running and put on my Apple Watch. And but I've got a little program that does it now. It's much easier.
Well, you
Uh,
can put it on your Apple Watch with Spotify. It just has to download it or something. Takes a while, but
oh, it takes it's
yeah,
painful. And when you want to just go, I'm going out for a run. I need a track now. That's why I use. I just have a little program that moves my playlists on across platforms.
nice. You look great, by the way. Did you have you been running a lot lately?
Yeah. So I lost like 2.5 stone last year. I run maybe 25-30K a week.
That's a lot.
Last year I did 1,500 kilometers in the whole year because I was on. I basically I do these virtual medals basically, and they you just track it on this online thing called the Conqueror, and it basically just last year I did like from Land's End to John O'Groats, basically from the bottom of the UK to the top of the UK, and it was like 1,400 kilometers, and I kind of but I didn't know, and I did that and then I went a bit further, so that was last year's mental adventure. I've
Sick.
not done as much this year, but then I kind of wanted to bring it. It was like it was a lot. I was like running 40K a week basically, and it was tiring and it was a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, you look great though.
Cheers, dude.
Going back to the platforms, what's your thoughts on Discord? Because you mentioned your whole community is on Discord. I've built a Discord myself because I'm a big believer in it. But
Mm.
I do notice that when I start talking about Discord, most people don't have it, aren't active on it, or don't even know it. So where are your thoughts there?
I think I love Discord. I absolutely love it. I love that our community's on there. I love that we are building a community on there. I like that it keeps getting upgraded, and like I like the new things that have happened this year with threads. I thought it just takes it back to the old school forum places. I used to love being on forums when we
Yeah,
like way back in the early 2000s and even bit before that a little bit. I love being on forums and I love the kind of feel of forums, and Discord has that kind of old school forum thread. I think it's super early. I think there are a lot of people on there, and I think it is a little bit more geeky, which is great for producers because obviously, and everyone's an inherent geek when it comes to
yeah,
producers. So
yeah.
that's cool. I think the kind of the male female again is a lot more male. So, but
But that seems to
um,
be like a standard thing within at least house music or something. Like um, somehow it's mostly men.
mm, that's a bit, yeah. It definitely. I mean, it's getting better and it's
Yeah,
good.
true.
And our Discord is a good mix.
Hmm.
But I really enjoy Discord. I think it's going to take a little bit more time with Discord. I think um, as long as people keep pushing it and keep building communities, I think it will just keep growing. I think it's super early in that
Yeah,
platform. I know
Uh,
it's been around for ages, but I just think from a music producer,
yeah, true.
I think it's one of these things you just got to keep grinding at, and all of a sudden it will probably pop off. We're up to like 1,500, I think, in our Discord now,
Yeah,
which is nice. And it's like I said, it's a nice community.
yeah. I think for now, like if you look at where the value of Discord is now, is that the big audience can be reached on places like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but
Mm.
like the real hardcore fans community, however you want to call it, that takes place on Discord, and that's where like the real diehards connect, like where you have instant, like super deep relationship building with your people, where on Instagram it's kind of like it's not that deep, it feels like
Mm.
on plays on the surface to me.
Yeah, I mean, I love Instagram, and I think you with community, it's either got to be in like one or two places, either Discord or kind of Facebook groups.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, Facebook
e-
groups still.
yeah, do you know? It depends. It depends. Everything depends on your demographic. Like,
Yeah.
if you are, promoting a party and it's 35 to 40-year olds or 45-year olds, then your community definitely needs to live on Facebook because that's where those sort of age groups still live. They grew up with
Hmm.
Facebook, they love Facebook, and trying to get them to move off of Facebook onto Instagram didn't even happen, let alone TikTok, let alone Discord.
Yeah.
Some of my good friends that are all our age, like I'm 43 and they're 45 and upwards, they literally only use Facebook, and they've moved on to Telegram, but uh, only for really other reasons. But
Telegram is it's I don't like it at all. To me, it's like chaos.
they go in certain groups on there to get certain things, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're in those Facebook groups. But
Mm,
so yeah, I mean, otherwise, like if it's a younger audience, then maybe I'd like it's good to get me in Discord,
mm.
and you'll see that people move over to Discord quite a lot. People kind of go, don't know what it is, and then they come in and go, "Oh, this is cool! It's really fun."
Yeah.
Um, and ours has definitely improved. Like where our Discord was a year ago to where it is now. Like there's more, like you say, more and get more people just. Like I go in there sometimes when I've been with my daughter all weekend and not been in for a couple of days, and I come in and I'm like, shit, there's all these messages all. Like, oh, sorry,
No
sorry, there's
worries.
all these messages all over the place, and I'm like, oh, I've got to scroll back, and you're kind of going back through the conversations. You're like, oh wow, this is like happening without
Yeah.
me in it, which is nice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the community living there. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely advise getting into Discord.
Good point. If you were an artist at this point, which makes great music but doesn't have any release yet, doesn't have any gigs yet, but really has a good product, what would your advice be for the upcoming year? So let's say 2023. What would your advice be to, yeah, to make the most out of the year in that position?
I think if it's right now, like November, I think November is a great time to get music signed. I think you've got no distractions. There's no there's no summer, there's no Ibiza, there's no, artists on, playing every weekend. It's kind of calmed down a little bit. I think definitely that there's definitely been this massive shift to the big. If you're trying to get signed to the big art labels, that lots of artists have played lots of gigs this year because they've had rollover gigs from 2020 and 2021,
Yeah.
and even for so they've had to stack them all up. I know I spoke to loads of artists that were like, "Shit, I'm playing so many gigs because of cancellations."
Yeah.
I think next year there's going to be a big reset of kind of not having to do that. They've done them all this year, and we're back to kind of proper normal next year.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like now. I think get your like I think pitching. You need to have your like I said earlier product, and you need to have a good load of records. Like there's no point having one. It's you need to go in with 10 and get that ready and then pitch and build a strategy, because you can't build a strategy with one record. You can't build familiarity with one record. You need to, you need that consistency. You need people to go, oh yeah, I remember that person.
Yeah.
I like their last record. I'll check that next one out. And you need that familiarity and you need that kind of consistency of music, especially when you're really, really tiny. You're just getting started. You just need to stay in one lane and make similar music, but build familiarity and build an audience.
Yeah.
And then you do that by, like I said earlier, like building audience, getting releases, but also building the content around those releases.
Yeah.
Don't forget to put out DJ content, because if you want gigs, you need to remind people all the time, I'm a DJ, I'm a DJ, I'm a DJ, I'm a DJ. And I
Yeah.
speak to so many producers, and they're like, I've got records on these I've got these great releases on great labels. I'm not getting any gigs. And then you go on their Instagram or their TikTok, and you're like, where are you DJing?
Yeah.
Where are you showing people you're DJing? And they're like, oh, I don't. I'm like, well, how are they supposed to tell? How are they supposed to book you?
Yeah.
How are they supposed to know that you're even a DJ, right?
Yeah.
And the next thing you need to do then is, once you start getting releases, then build those Spotify streams, because they count so much now. Like, but like it's actual data that people can actually see, promoters can see. Promoters at the end of the day, remember, they've got to be bums on seats. They've got to sell tickets, and if
Yeah.
they do look at data like your following and your engagement and your kind of consistency, and but also look at Spotify numbers, because it's actual people listening to your music, and if there's actual people, then you can use that data that might sell tickets.
Yeah.
So you've got to
Good.
build those numbers and use the kind of content from your socials, or use paid content to push them up.
Mm. Good point. Talking about the upcoming year, as in, you already mentioned like whatever normal is going to look like. What's your vision on the music industry at this point? Because it obviously took some hits in the past few years. What's your vision for the upcoming period of the music industry? What's going to change? What's going to stay the same?
I like it. I like. There's so much going on. There's so much great music going on. There's so much diversity in music. There's so much diversity in people now, which is even better. I like the kind of. It's exciting. There's diversity in technology, which is good. And I think you've got to focus on community first and foremost. Whatever you're doing, you've got to focus on community and building a
Yeah,
community. And once you've done that, then you can do so much.
yeah,
You'll get the bigger gigs. You'll get you can sell the products, you can sell the merch, and kind of a lot of people step into stuff too early, and it's just if you're really, really tiny and you're just starting, just again, just build, build, and build, and keep consistency, and then the music industry is going to work with you. And
Yeah,
some don't worry about what's kind of going with the music industry, because a lot of it is the same, and it's always been the same. Like it's always been about music and releases, and on those platforms we spoke about earlier, YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, and getting downloads on Beatport
yeah,
or maybe Bandcamp.
yeah.
But
The game didn't change. It's just like the context around it changed. The platforms changed and all those things, but the game itself, like figuring out how to reach an audience, how to build a community and a fan base, and trying to find a way to sell yourself and sell your product is still the same. You know, it used to be
same
like
game.
that in 1970s, and now it's still the same. But now we do it online.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
same as it's always like, even in the 30s, the 20s, it's
yeah,
always been the same. It's always been the same.
yeah,
Get a great product, build a community, and then you can sell to them.
yeah. Whatever
And
you
as long as you
want.
kind of keep it that simple, and if you're trying to do stuff on the, like, there's so much new stuff that's happening, and there's so much exciting stuff. You start going. I know talk about Web3, and I saw you talk about NFT and then Web2, and I know you guys talk about it loads. And that's so much exciting stuff.
Yeah,
And I think for that stuff, just learn and learn. If you're tiny, 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 just learn and learn and learn.
yeah,
Like taste, try it out, buy some, get into communities.
yeah,
Because until you've got something, a community to tell to, you can't use those platforms. You've just got to build the model.
yeah, yeah. To me, like the whole NFT thing is like where the future is going. Maybe 5 years from now, it will be the start of adoption, the big adoption.
Mm,
My guess is, but also with Discord, obviously, like the connection with NFTs and Discords, which could give you like instantly grant you certain roles in the community and stuff. To me, the whole NFT technology and building communities is one of the most exciting things which it
mm.
could bring for artists in this whole thing. Like music NFTs and stuff still need a lot of work. Um, yeah, still need to figure out how that's going to work properly. But when it comes down to communities, I'm 100% convinced that this is going to be the next big thing.
100%. The technology is like you say. In a few years' time, you won't even know. You won't even use the word NFT.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll just be I bought something, and it will
Yeah,
use that technology.
yeah,
The same, and you won't even speak about it because you'll just be using it.
exactly.
Um, but at the same time, you want to sell stuff digitally, and you'll do that in a community, and that's what you've got to
Yeah,
focus on.
yeah. You can do it through Instagram within a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can start selling your, let's say, community tokens on Instagram, which gives people a certain role in your Discord. You know, like those type of things can happen pretty quick.
yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, I am.
So
I want to. I'm looking at a lot of stuff for my labels because I want to have a separate Discord for data transmission. My Discord is me, Graham Farmer, because it's come around from my Twitch, and it kind of I stream from my. I don't even have the video up, but I stream from my shed in my garden, and it's my shed heads, and it's all fun, and it's a bit stupid, but we listen to demos and listen to music and kind of chat about social media in there. But
yeah,
I'm going to have a separate Discord for DT, and just it'll be around kind of music and releases and digital, and but we're just trying to, we're just trying to learn and work that out at the moment.
yeah. Well, you've nailed the background for this streaming desk. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's evolved. This is like version, I don't know, 3 or 4, and it evolves. We have meetings about the shed and whether, because whether we need to evolve it, whether we need to change it, whether we need to. We had a meeting to decide whether it was too disco and not sheddy enough,
To
and therefore,
disco.
and because it's a disco shed, and it's always been the
Yeah.
disco shed, and it was it too disco and not enough shed, and we actually made a word sheddy.
Mm.
And then did we need to dial back the disc? And we did dial the disco back and make it more shed, but
I
it's all
like
fun.
it. I especially like the disco ball like plant thing.
Oh yeah, they're fun, and we've got the shed head there with his disco ball hat on, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Listen, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for your insight, your knowledge. I definitely want to send people towards your Instagram and stuff, and maybe your course as well, because I think there's a lot of value to get from there. So
Mm.
yeah, thank you, man. I'll put the links in the show notes and speak soon.
Oh, wicked! Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great fun.
Yeah, see you next time.